I've worked with over 200 e-commerce brands that have collectively spent over $100 million in Meta ad spend, and this is what's going to supercharge their performance coming into 2026. Now, this is not about creative or AI-generated content, although that is super important, but this is about brand collaboration and using the data that you already have to go after new customer segments. So I want to start with an example. Imagine there are two brands going after new parents with children up to the ages of 12 months. One is selling baby onesies and one is selling formula. Now, the formula brand has a super high LTV because when a parent buys formula, they don't tend to switch brands. But the onesie brand, on the other hand, has a low LTV and they're really focused on that customer acquisition cost because parents aren't really loyal to a onesie brand. You know, kids grow so quickly, you sort of get it wherever you can. But both brands are going after the exact same customer segment of new parents with kids under 12 months. And they're operating as a little island. They're operating as individuals. You're posting content, you're running ads, and you're building your email list, but you're doing it in isolation. The formula brand is willing to pay more to acquire a customer because they have that high LTV, but the onesie brand is focused a lot on that customer acquisition cost because their LTV is not significant. They have to be profitable on that first purchase. So in comes audience collaboration, and Meta actually made this a native feature. They recognize the importance of this, and this is partially due to influencer marketing. So there's now an option to choose a partner post when you're running ads on Meta. And this is where you see those Instagram handles where it's 2 or 3 handles that are running one singular ad. You've probably seen it pop up on your page. It's essentially that, except more detailed than just sharing your Instagram audience. This is sharing your exact customer base. So what you do inside of Meta is you create a new audience based on your customer list. This is like your Klaviyo export list. And then you create a lookalike of that customer list. Start with a 1%, a 2%, a 5%, and a 10%. And then you can share these audiences with an adjacent complementary but non-competing brand, i.e. you sell onesies, you share it to a brand that sells formula and vice versa. And now, rather than operating as an island and building these customer lists independently, you could share it with another brand that can tap into that customer list. Because guess what? It's the exact same customer. It's new parents with kids under 12 months that are looking to buy formula, buy onesies, all the paraphernalia related to having a baby. And this is how you fix the acquisition problem, because now you have access to another company's entire customer list that you would have probably had to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to acquire those customers in Meta, and you can get it for free. And vice versa. The same thing goes for that other brand. They can find parents that are purchasing products, they're in market, and now they can advertise to them directly. So that's step one, how to lower your acquisition cost. You can tap into their customer list directly or a lookalike of their customer lists. Now, part two is how do you fix the LTV problem? Like we said, the formula brand has a super high LTV and the onesie brand has a lower LTV. Well, this is a simple email collaboration. This is where you can run email campaigns on each other's Klaviyo accounts that marry the two brands together. So you can create this match made in heaven email that says, hey, we know that you love our formula. This is a onesie brand that we trust. They make the best onesies made of Egyptian cotton or whatever it is, right? And you can advertise that product and you can do this on each other's Klaviyo accounts. So now this is an immediate revenue uptick to increase your LTV and you get to tap into that customer list directly. Now, this is a great example and it works really well when there's two brands, but it works really, really well when there's 10. When you can create a silo of brands that are all operating together and sharing each other's audiences, you're each individually spending to acquire customers on Meta and you're individually sending your own email campaigns, but you can also tap into each other's audiences. And this is the hidden sauce. If you have great content, by tapping into these other audiences, you can dramatically lower your CPM and you just get this pinpoint targeting reach at exactly who your customers are without having to pay an arm and a leg to Meta every single time you run an ad. I'm doing this on multiple accounts that I manage right now, whether it's two brands working together to share a customer list or it's partner posts with larger creators. Collaboration is the name of the game in 2026. It's the only way that you're going to profitably reach new customers because the cost of ads keeps going up, organic keeps becoming more important, and content is still king. You have to lead with amazing content, but this collaboration that happens on the back end is the piece that nobody's talking about that can really amplify your performance because you just get to acquire customers for so much less and you can increase your LTV on the back end. That's the lesson for today. I hope it was helpful. And if you're an e-commerce brand and you want to figure out what brand you might be able to collaborate with, drop a comment below. I'll look through my portfolio of 200 high spend companies and see if there's anybody that we can pair you up with. Thank you for watching.